Thank you. I will now recognize the gentleman from New Jersey, Mr. Malinowski, for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thanks to all of our witnesses for the work that you do. I want to start with you, Mr. LaRose, and say at the outset, I was very impressed by your testimony and by the work that you are doing in Ohio to protect the physical integrity of our elections, but also then to defend the integrity of our elections against all of the misinformation that's out there. That said, it seems we've still got a very, very big problem in terms of public perception. When something like 40% of Americans believe that the 2020 election was stolen, about 60 to 70% of Republicans. I saw a poll that suggested in Ohio, 62% of Republican primary voters in 2022 believed that the 2020 election was stolen. I trust you agree with me that's a very dangerous phenomenon. I mean, if I were to believe that a presidential election were stolen, I would be losing faith in my democracy and the system of government in our country. Clearly, that is the root cause of the threats of violence that many nonpartisan election officials across the country are facing. So I guess my question for you is, what more needs to be done? What should elected officials, responsible leaders in our country be doing to address that false belief out there and to restore the confidence of all Americans in that our elections have integrity?
Well, thank you, Congressman. And you know, in some ways, I guess I find the silver lining to every cloud. The fact is that folks are interested in this topic right now at a level they wouldn't normally be. And so I view this as an opportunity to educate people about the safeguards that exist. And to make sure that that information is available in all parts of our state. I'll give you a couple examples. We've worked with our county boards of elections and had them set up booths at their county fair where people can come and vote on their favorite deep fried fair food or whatever. That's just the hook to get people to come over, because when they do, they'll see a voting machine and they may be inclined to say, well, hey, is this the one with the secret foreign algorithm in it? And instead of laughing at that person, it's a chance to engage with them and now teach them that voting machines are never connected to the internet. They're tested before each election, audited after each election, et cetera. We've worked with, again, the diverse communities from throughout the state to help empower those community leaders to be sources of accurate information about election integrity. And you know what? We've put out the challenge. If you believe that there are big problems in our elections, sign up to be a poll worker. Put your money where your mouth is. Spend the long day of doing this work. What we found is that when people do that, they come out of the experience saying, you know what? Elections are run honestly and reported accurately. Those are just a few ideas, and those are things that we're doing here in Ohio.
Well, thank you so much, and you know, I'm sure you also agree. Just very simply, all of us as public officials just need to tell the truth about our elections, because when we don't, it encourages our constituents to lose confidence. Ms. Oliver, you know, we've heard a lot about what happened in New Mexico. I assume that a lot of the lies and misinformation that led to those threats were spreading on the internet, on social media platforms. I often say that the big lie is the virus, but Facebook is the wind. And it's not just that these things appear on the internet, it's that the large online platforms do write these algorithms that basically connect every single person with a propensity to believe in conspiracy theories with conspiracy theories. If you're on the right, it'll push you further right. If you're on the left, it'll push you further left. These companies design their networks in a way that encourages the spread of information that makes us angry at each other, that increases our divisions from one another. So I see you nodding, so I assume something that you agree with. We are, a number of us are working in Congress on legislation that would hold these social media platforms more accountable for the way in which they amplify and recommend information to the American people to deal with these kinds of threats. Is that something that you think would be helpful?
Absolutely, Congressman. Thank you. I think that's a worthy effort. And I think, just among my Secretary of State colleagues, I think we all share that concern, right? Both the mis and disinformation from the right and the mis and disinformation from the left. And in fact, what we know for a fact, when we all started heavily engaging in this cybersecurity work about 5 years ago, was that, foreign entities, particularly Russia, Iran, et cetera, were taking advantage of those divisions.
I'm gonna have to interject. I apologize for